Money is one of the leading causes of stress and conflict in a relationship. Many couples struggle to communicate openly and honestly about their finances. Some people may feel ashamed, embarrassed, or guilty asking a partner for money, while others may feel resentment, annoyance, or downright taken advantage of. In this inflated America that we live in today, is it okay to ask your partner for money? Hello, my name is Lamont.
And I'm Tiffany.
Welcome to the SOSAPIOSEXUal podcast, where attraction transcends physicality and sparks fly through engaging conversations. Let's get into it.
If I want to go straight and answer the question, I would say no. So
why don't you feel like
I'm going to give an example why. The reasoning why I feel as though you shouldn't ask for money in a relationship is because when you're married, you're all one, so everything is one. When you're not married and you're dating, I feel like that is not the responsibility of the person that you're dating for them to take care of you. I feel as though you should be taking care of yourself, and that person is just coming in to try to date you to understand who you are. It doesn't mean that person may not be your husband. You may not marry them. You may not be with them for the rest of your life. So now what's the purpose of them paying your rent, paying your car note, paying for your kids to eat, paying for you to eat?
So you feel like that's reserved only for like people that's married?
I feel like it's reserved for people that are in a serious relationship who are going into marriage. The perks of marriage is you have a spouse, you take care of each other. That's the perks of marriage. Nowadays, society doesn't want to get married. Okay, you don't have to, but that person is not obligated to take care of your responsibilities.
So hold on, before we even start to like really go down this rabbit hole, because this is a great topic, let's paint the picture for the audience. So, because many that's watching this probably think like, okay, what is she talking about? Like couples, like how long a duration that you got to be with somebody before it's okay to ask for money? Because like, hold on, let me set this up. Are you talking about? So let's differentiate the two. So are you talking about like what is the time frames? Like you can only ask for money when you're married, or is it like, okay, I've been dating for X amount of time now, I may feel more comfortable with asking for money? Is that what you're saying?
So let me ask you, I'm going to answer the question, but I'm also going to give this scenario.
Okay.
Before I met you, I was taking care of myself. I had my own apartment, I had my own car, I had 2 jobs.
Yeah,
I was
Miss
in school.
Independent.
I took care of me.
Yeah.
There was no need for anybody else. I was fine.
Yeah.
I decided that I needed to be with somebody because I needed that companionship.
Yeah, companionship.
I wanted a husband. I wanted somebody to be, I wanted him to be that person, to be there. I took care of myself. Like, I'm not that person anymore. But when I started dating you, I not once asked you for money.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you for gas. I didn't ask you to get my nails done. I didn't ask you for any of that. Now, there are different people on the podcast that I've watched who said a woman should never have to reach into her pocket when she's dating you. Now, I kind of disagree with that.
Okay.
And the reason why is, like I said, I don't feel as though a man should take care of you. Now, as in treating you, going out to eat, every now and again he wants to take care of your hair and your nails. Okay, cool, but it's not his obligation to do it. It doesn't mean this is the requirement of dating me. You have to do these things because you're dating. Because again, this could fall short. And now this is why you have a lot of men that come and be like, I did all this for her and it didn't work out. But you shouldn't feel obligated to do so. I see a lot of women on social media who are like, oh, he better pay my rent.
Yeah, social media is a wild place.
Yeah, he better pay my car note. He better pay for my kids to eat. When we go out to eat, you're taking us to go home to my kids.
No, that's wild.
Like,
that is wild.
Why? You should be taking care of your responsibilities because you were doing it without him before. So now why is his obligation to do it? Because he's decided to get to know you as a person. Now, if it out of kindness of his heart, he's like, you know what? I know you have kids. I'm going to take you and the kids out, or I'm going to take you somewhere. That's different. But as in saying, hey, you need to pay my light bill because I can't afford it no more.
So that's what they doing out here nowadays? Is they asking for men to pay their light bills and shit?
Pay rent, light bill. My kids got daycare. I need you to take care of it. I don't agree with that. I feel as though, one, those kids have fathers. So that's the responsibility of their father, not the person that you're dating.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
Right. And number 2, this man is getting to know you. Yes, your kids are lined up to that, but it doesn't mean he has to provide for those he has not made the declaration to be your husband. When he makes that declaration, absolutely, because he's showing your kids that he can take care of you. That's what he's showing. And he's also showing that I have the responsibility to take care of you when I need to take care of you. It doesn't mean he has to do that by paying your rent, because you're paying your rent. Now, if he, again, I'm going to say this again, if the man volunteers and is like, you know what, I'm going to take care of your rent for a month, you kind of been struggling, I got you. But it shouldn't be a demand.
But do you think that it's like do you think that it comes with something? Like if a man is paying your rent, don't you think that he's going to expect something from that?
I mean, in this society, yes. He's not going to think,
so like when
I'm doing this at the kind of
when is it okay
to ask for money?
Yeah, to ask for money. Like when do you feel it's okay? Because like for me, it's just like, so let me back up. Like if I remember when we first started dating, like you never asked me for money. And I never really kind of like led with money. It's just like, hey, like let's go out, let's have a good time. Like sometimes you paid, sometimes I paid. It was like a mutual thing when we first got together.
Correct.
When we started to get into like, and that's when we was dating, right? So I think dating is different from being in a relationship. Okay. Because for me, being in a relationship is basically the prerequisite of getting married. That's how I feel. That's why when I'm in a relationship, I am honest. I am monogamous. I am with that person. So if I'm dating, I'm none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm in a relationship with you, then I personally feel, if I say like, hey, you my girl, then I feel like I should be contributing to some of the things that you need, like some of your needs.
So
go ahead.
You feel like you should have been paying my rent. You're not living there.
No.
You don't have nothing to do with nothing in my apartment.
No.
I don't agree with that.
Listen, I agree with you. Like, I'm not about to pay your rent or anything like that. However, when it comes to your appearance, I feel like I should be able to get your nails done.
I agree with that.
Get your hair done. You know what I'm saying? Lace you up with some jewels.
Right.
Put something nice on your feet. You know what I'm saying?
Show that you're worthy.
So is that what you're talking about?
No. I'm talking about taking care. I'm talking about a husband's responsibility in a dating area. So
a husband responsible?
A husband's responsible. So husband, okay, let's talk about the two
let's break it down.
So boyfriend and girlfriend stage is, I feel as though,
and that's past the let's go from like the beginning. That's past the dating phase?
After dating. So now you're officially, you're together.
Got it.
I feel as though that's a disposable unit. Now, and the reason why I feel it's disposable is because you're still in the process of getting to know each other. So it may go
disposable.
And I'm going to say why. I just explained why. Because you're in a position of still getting to know somebody. You may not like the fact that she snores when she sleeps. You may not like the fact he don't pick up after himself. So there's things that you can disposal in that relationship and walk away from. So it's disposable at that moment. Girlfriend and boyfriends are disposable. That's just what it is. And a realization of it is that person can go be with somebody else. You can be with somebody else in that phase. You can just do it.
So like, let me interject real quick. So with me, I figure all that stuff out in the dating phase. So when I'm dating you, if I'm spending, like, I spent the night over your house while we was dating. And we slept in the same bed or whatever. If you was snoring, you know I hate people that snore.
Right.
If you snored, that would have been a no-go for me. I can't live the rest of my life dealing with somebody that snores. That's just me. I hate it. It's annoying. So like I go through all that during the dating phase. So if I'm in a relationship with you, I know that you have basically, I would say 75% or maybe 70% of the necessities, the standards that I need in a relationship. The other things the other 10% that I need, because you don't really get the 100%. I'm going up to 80. The other 10% that I need is like, how are you able to handle yourself in stressful situations? And you only able to figure that out through time. So yeah, I weigh all that stuff out during the dating phase. So when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to take on some of your responsibility because I just feel like I'm the provider. I can provide for you. Not on no simp shit, but it's just like, okay, I'm going to lace you up. Like if I'm looking good, because when we do get dressed up, we dress nice. If I'm dressing nice and we going out to eat at somewhere, and like I know that you've been paying bills, you know what I mean? You got the light bill, you got the cell phone, you got the car note, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to make sure that you know what I mean, that your hair done, nails done, et cetera. Yeah.
I can only speak for my past.
Well, your past relationships?
Yeah, past relationships. I've always taken care of myself. And
yeah, I mean,
and when it came down to it, gifts, I feel like in that relationship phase is key. Yes, give me gifts and everything else because we want to see that you're interested. I think that's key. But I also I feel as though at that time phrase, including that dating phase, you meet a lot of representatives. So you don't really get to know somebody unless you're really getting serious to a moving towards a marriage situation, because you really don't know who that person really is until you move to that state of mind. Yes, we dated for a while. You spend a night at my house. I spent a night at yours. That's great and all, but we really didn't live together, where it was you didn't really understand who I was. I didn't understand who you were.
And what do I say?
Well, you have to live with somebody to understand them.
You gotta live with somebody to truly understand their nature.
Right. So then now that goes to, that is when you're fully contributing to that person in the household.
But that's a relationship though.
That is a relationship.
So you're saying so the topic is,
yes,
is it okay to ask your partner in your relationship?
Mm-hmm. In the beginning stage of a relationship, no, you should not be asking your partner for money.
And when is it okay to ask your partner for money?
When y'all moving in together and y'all about to get married, then you can start asking for money.
When you about to get married.
Where you got a ring on your finger, your fiance, because I tell people all the time, that can change so quickly. It can change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's true.
And the problem I have with people is you're financially taking care of this person before they even get married.
Well, let me challenge this for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
I like to throw out a little challenge, right? So say, like, hypothetically speaking, when we first started dating, you had a scenario where your finances was messed up. Say like you missed a car payment or something, and they was about to tow your car, and you came to me and was like, "Hey, like, listen, after we've been dating for a while, it's not the beginning. We've been dating for a while, say like a year or two. We have talks about moving in eventually. You be like, hey, something happened. Like, I really need your help. Can you help me with X, Y, and Z?" What would you expect my response to be?
Well, can I expound how I am? Because I wouldn't ask that
and
question.
I'm gonna link this. A few videos ago, you said that you can't answer a question with a question, but I'm gonna let you get away with this.
No, I'm gonna answer a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm who I am. So like I can only speak for who I am.
All right.
And me personally, I would not go to you and ask you that question. I would figure it out myself. And the reason why, again, is probably because how I was raised and how I am currently. I'm very independent. So, because the thing about it is, if you disappear tomorrow, I can't come to you. We broke up. I'm coming. How financially am I take care of myself?
Yeah, I understand that.
It's different. There's different plateaus, and I feel like people don't understand there are different places in life and at different parts of relationships. If you're dating somebody and off rip you're only with somebody because you're looking at what they can do for you, then that is a problem.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. So in the scenario that I give that I gave, it was just like, okay, we've been dating for a while and you just came through some hardship. You saying that just because of the person that you are, that you went and asked for money. And I totally understand that, and I know you, and I know that holds true. Yeah. But let's exclude yourself out of the situation. Let's talk to the audience real quick. Okay. Do you think it's okay for like other people? Like I know you got an ego. Your ego is high. You got pride and stuff like that. But do you think that a female, should have an ego when it comes to asking a person for money in a relationship?
So, I guess for who I am, I would say yes. Because at the end of the day, you can ask a person one time. I've always said why I don't ask people for anything anyway. You're not going to hold that over my head. That's number one. Even in a relationship, a person can still hold it over your head because they remembered what you did. And then down the line, y'all get in a fight. And now it's like, well, remember when I had to pay 5 times for your da-da-da-da-da? I don't believe in all that. That's number one. I'm not going to give you any fuel to no fire. Number two, if I'm in a position where I'm like struggling or something like that, and I can't figure it out for myself, because in the future, again, like I said, you can disappear tomorrow. I cannot rely on you.
True.
I have to rely on myself. So if I cannot rely on myself, and I'm always thinking you're in the equation, like, oh, my bill's 5 months behind. Let me call him and ask him to pay my bill because I'm struggling right now. Okay, I understand that aspect of it, but in the same note, do I feel as though it's an obligation for you? I don't think it's that. Women can go out here and ask like, oh, well, a man is supposed to take care of me. So yeah, he's supposed to take care of you when you're married. That's what we're not understanding.
So a man is not supposed to take care of you in a relationship.
In a relationship, what is your taking care of? What is your idea of taking care of?
Who, me? That's you asking me the question. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a relationship is a prerequisite to getting married.
Okay.
So if you came with a hardship, you came to me with a hardship, and you asked me for money because you dealing with something, I feel like I should help you with that. I feel nothing wrong with that. If we've been dating for a while, you know what I'm saying? I feel nothing wrong with that. And if you wanted to come to me and ask me, like, I'd be like, okay, she trusts me. She trusts me that she knows that we all grown. We should know at this stage in our life, we should know when somebody is playing games and someone is not. Like, if you honestly going through some stuff and you came to me and you asked me, like, hey, can I listen? Because it takes a lot to ask somebody for help. If you came to me with help, I'd be like, all right, I'll try to help you the best I can. I feel like you should. I feel like if somebody in a relationship, a female in a relationship, they shouldn't feel guilty with having to ask somebody for money if they going through a hardship. Now, they shouldn't expect a man to rescue them. They shouldn't expect a man to pay for everything. No. But if you ask a man, can you help? Can he help you? And he's not able to come to your aid at a critical time in your life, then how are you planning on marrying that person? It's just like, that should be like a red flag in your head. Okay, like I had a problem. I went to him and with confidence that he'll be able to help, and he's not able to help. That should be like a red flag in your head.
So you said dating, relationships is a prereq to marriage. So it's like you meet, you date, relationship, marriage. I'm going to say this. That means that I can slap all the bills that I had on the table, because you're prereqing, so you're not living with me. We're not in the same house yet, so you should be able to take care of my bills and your bills and everything else, because you're going to be taking care of the bills anyway. So then you should be taking care of them, if that's the case.
So I think you misconstruing my words.
No.
Which you always do.
No, I'm just saying, as a prereq, preparing before the ring, right?
Yes.
And the responsibility, as we have said, you feel as though a male should take care of the household. So that means you should take care of everything prior to, because that means you can take care of everything plus whatever else you got going on, and you're prereq to that. But that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that at all.
When it comes down to you being under the same roof, that is the difference. You're not under the same roof. You're two different lives. The only difference is, I agree that you should be paying for occasionally nails, occasionally that. I agree with going out to eat. I don't see anything wrong. Gifts, that I have nothing wrong with. But you taking care of an everyday life that someone should be able to take care of themselves, you should not be doing that. You are ultimately trying to be the husband, but what if you're not? So now you're spending all this money, you're taking care of somebody, and you're doing all this extra stuff, and then you don't have anything at the end. Now what? You just wasted time and money. Yeah.
So first of all, you kind of got my words misconstrued.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about you. You said that laying all your bills on the table and expecting me to pay for it, or expecting another man to pay for it. We talking about other people relationships.
Right.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you had a hardship.
But prereqs.
That's the prerequisite. So prerequisite, you date. Then you get in a relationship. Then you thinking about moving in with each other. Then after you can stand each other while you living, you can live with each other for a year. Then you should get engaged. See how that goes. Then after engagement, you can possibly think about babies and marriage. Or marriage and babies. Whatever.
Jesus.
I'm a guy. Think about babies first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My legacy got to live on. But anyway, I think that's okay. You saying all this other stuff with like dropping your bills on the table? Like, no,
because prereqs are prior to actually doing it.
So I look at myself as, what if I was a millionaire? Like, what? Like, what if money was nothing? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, money is something because we are middle class citizens. We're not rich. Mm-hmm. But what if money was not an option? Mm-hmm. If you came to me like. And if I had money, I wouldn't think about it. I'm just like, oh, whatever.
Would you? Or would that be something that you would keep in the back of your head?
It depends. So, like, you're right. So, it depends. It depends on the person, the character. Like, if you really had a hardship, you really came to me talking about a hardship now. Mm-hmm. You had a hardship where something went wrong and you was doing all this stuff by yourself before, but you just had one slip up where you needed some help. Mm-hmm. I feel like as a man in a relationship, if we live together.
That's different.
Or even if we don't live together. I even say that. Okay. Even if we're not living together, you got your house, I got my house, mm-hmm. and let's say something goes wrong and you come to me for help. Mm-hmm. If I had the money, I'm going to help you. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that it depends on the situation. Mm-hmm. It depends on the caliber of man. It depends on the caliber of woman that he's dealing with. Mm-hmm. You should be able to pay.
So then, you should give access to that woman to your cards too, because again, that's another prereq.
No.
Because in a marriage, that's what you do.
I'm saying a prerequisite is you got to pass something to become like you got to do X, Y, and Z to get to the other steps.
So treating somebody, showing them I can take care of you, showing I can do everything else besides paying your bills is not enough. You need to be able to pay bills and show that you can pay a bill.
No, I'm not saying that, and you misunderstand what I'm saying. Once again, so I'm saying this: the prerequisite for a woman is that
not all women.
It's just that you had a hardship. Some women don't, some women do. You had a hardship and you came to me for assistance. You came to me. You felt confident enough to swallow your pride, come to me and ask me for help, right? We in a relationship, we haven't moved in together. If I had the means to do it, I should be able to help you out. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that if you was a genuine person. Now, some people is out there taking advantage of men, expecting them to do X, Y, and Z, pay for their kids, their rent, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about, hey, if you had a hardship, that's the thing that I don't think that you're getting when I'm saying a hardship.
No, I'm understanding exactly what you're saying. I still feel strongly that I still feel how I feel. I still feel as though when you are in a relationship until you are married, that is not something that, because I feel like you should be able to you were living before this person. If this person is gone, you still have to live after them. So regardless of anything, this is not going to be just your ATM that you happen to have. You got to kind of figure it out yourself. Because again, when you're married, it's different because all the gloves are off. We have conversations because two is becoming one. In a relationship, it's not two becoming one. It's just two people.
I'm kind of confused.
Okay.
So you're saying that a woman should only ask a man for money when they are married, not even in a relationship, not even moved in together. If that's what you're saying, yes or no?
So I'm saying no, and I'm going to ask you this question. The only time that I even asked you for money, right, was when I was pregnant with your child.
Yes.
And I couldn't pay my bills.
Yes.
Because I didn't even ask you. I was actually going through what I was figuring out myself.
That's the key that's the key.
But I'm saying this is what I'm trying to have you understand is the fact, one, I wasn't engaged.
Yes.
Okay. I was still a girlfriend. But I still was at a position where I was trying to figure out myself what I needed to do because of that. But I did not expect from you to take care of me. Because again, you're not my husband. You are my boyfriend. The obligation of taking care of me in this household comes after we say I do.
I got you.
That's what I'm saying. The holding a boyfriend and a girlfriend to accountable of an obligation of something that they're not agreeing. When you say I do, you're agreeing to the obligation of taking care of this household.
So what is holding you back from asking a person for money? Is it just pride, or is it what is it? Because what I don't understand is that, so for me, right? If I'm married, if we're living together, and we're engaged, and we're soon to be married. I want to know your financial situation because of the person that I am.
Right.
Because I feel like a person that's married, they should have a few things in place before you get married. You should have a roof over your head and money in your pocket.
Correct.
If you having a wedding or if you down and out financially, then you shouldn't be doing any of that other stuff. You should fix that stuff before you get married.
Right.
So if you had personal debt that was spiraling out of control, I think that it is a detriment to the relationship not to speak upon that before you get married.
No, I agree. But that's why you're in the engagement phase. Those conversations, finance, all that stuff should be coming into play because now it's a different responsibility. It's no longer we're girlfriend and boyfriend.
Okay. Well, let me back up. So if somebody, and I'm excluding us, say, no, I'm not even excluding us completely. Not even Champ. I'm not even going to bring him in this, right?
Right.
Excluding us, somebody came to you, a friend, a coworker, etc., right? A woman, say like it's a male guy, right? Say like he was talking about you, about his woman. His woman came to him and she told him about a hardship she was having before he proposed to her. Shouldn't you think that he should know before the engagement that you having a financial issue? I think yes.
No, before the engagement, he's having a financial issue. Did the financial issue happen prior to, or was it during the time they were engaged?
Say that it was just some old. See, like you was dealing with financial issues before you even got with that person, but now it just starting to spiral out of control.
No, I believe the conversation should have been had, but also too
it should be had before the engagement,
right?
Because a guy should know. A guy should have a good idea of who you are before he get down on one knee and ask you to be.
Yes, I agree with that. I feel as though sometimes things will occur after the fact and you may not realize it occurs.
Yeah.
So there's certain situations, and it depends on the person. It depends on that. A lot of people are not, they're not financially literate. So you're talking to people that may not even know what's going on. And now all of a sudden they're hit with a bill. It happens. Sometimes we just do not pay attention to things. We're trying to make money, to pay a bill, to pay this bill, to pay that bill. You're not looking at things long term. So I get what you're saying, and I do agree. Yes, I feel like they should know ahead before you get engaged. But again, like I said, things come down the pipeline, things happen, and sometimes that situation won't come up until after the fact. And I feel like those are conversations. Having a place of safe haven, of having an open communication, because it's not easy for anybody to talk about their finance. I don't care what anybody has to say.
No, it's not.
It's not easy. So if you're dealing with somebody who financially may have had a struggle or dealt with something, person coming to you talking to their finances is not going to be easy conversation because they don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. So you have to place a safe haven where it's like, hey, I have this going on. Like, instead of badgering that person and be like, well, okay, we're here. So let's see where we can go now. Okay, so you have a couple of this, that, and the other. Okay, let's figure it out. We can figure it out. It's just trying to figure out now what moving pieces is going to go where. And it's about working together and not just bashing each other because one person may know more about the other person doesn't know, because you just don't know what that person had to go through. You don't know what their struggle. You don't know a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So that's why I feel like when you're going to that path of getting married and getting engaged, that's those conversations where instead of attacking each other, you should come together and be like, okay, I may know more than you, so let's kind of...
Well, you don't really know that a person is going to attack you until you...
Open your mouth.
Or you kind of like see other characteristics that will kind of give you a clue if they will flip out or not.
So what if that person went to that person and said something?
But the thing that I don't understand is that people will have the courage to have a baby with somebody or get married to somebody, but they don't have the courage to talk about finances with people. I think that people are more afraid to have the financial conversation than they are to have kids.
Because it's embarrassing.
But like, why do you feel uncomfortable having a financial conversation with your significant other?
Because finances is not an easy conversation. If you have struggled in the past, if you have made mistakes in your past, if you have screwed up in your past and your partner has not, it's not an easy conversation to have.
I get it.
You're embarrassed. That's like, there's something that you feel is embarrassed to probably share with me, but you have shared it. But in the same note, you're still embarrassed.
Yeah,
it's an embarrassment. Some people just don't have that knowledge and that understanding. And I think a lot of times people need to stop shunning people from that and have these uncomfortable conversations. You can figure it out. It's just, if it's different if your spouse is out here gambling your money away and y'all are in bigger debt and they're continuously gambling and continuously gambling. That is different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that are really trying to get it right. They just don't know how to get it right. And they're just kind of stuck in this position where they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm trying to do better, but I just don't know what to do. I need help. And your spouse may be that help to help you understand a little bit more about your finances. But we need to stop being that person like, oh, you should have known better. You should have done this. And why did you let this happen? You don't know what a person's going through. You don't know what they're trying to, rob from Peter and to pay Paul. You don't know how they're trying to move their money around to try to pay this bill and not that bill. You just don't know the struggles of a person. So I feel like those conversations, instead of bashing, we should be educating and working with each other.
True.
Because you just don't know.
But you keep going to the bashing part. So it sounds like you had something that happened to you in your past, because like you immediately just think that somebody will bash you. And I'm trying to, what I would like you to do is try to differentiate yourself from the audience. Okay. So just imagine if somebody came to you like, hey, like I really want to ask my boyfriend of X amount of years, we're not engaged, we're not living together, and we're not married. But I'm having a hardship, and I really need somebody to help me out. I can't go to my mom. I can't go to my family. I feel like he is, and I'm talking about the friend that's coming to you. She says, I feel like he is financially literate, and I'm going to ask him for help. How do you feel? Would you say okay to that person?
Go right ahead. Do what you feel is right.
But what?
No, do what you feel is right. I can't tell you what you should not be doing. If you feel as though that is the right opportunity to do it, then do it.
But you feel like it's never a situation.
For me, I have a different viewpoint, but I can't put my viewpoint on somebody's struggle.
But why do you get this viewpoint? Like, what made you have this viewpoint?
Because I just don't feel as though I should hold anybody accountable for taking care of me unless I am married. That is just how I feel. I'm not going to be with a man just because I want him to pay my bills. I'm not. I've been taking care of myself. And I think a lot of the issue is with me is because I've been so independent, I figure it out because my mom raised me this way. You figure it out.
So it probably came. So
it comes from my upbringing.
The mindset and my cousin came to your upbringing.
My cousin can attest to that, and I'm not gonna say her name, but I've talked to her this afternoon. But she would say the same thing. Her mom taught her. At the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. So you got to figure it out. And that's why we were raised the way we were. We were raised this way because we had to figure it out. We never had anybody to rely on. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for her. I couldn't call my family. My family didn't have money like that. I couldn't call. The one time I did call, I called like my mom, my parents, one time I needed rent because I was behind. And I said I would never do this again because in my head, it's like, I shouldn't have gotten to this place. Why? How did I get here? Why am I here? I usually take care of myself. What brought me here? So I have to revamp my way of living to take care of myself. Because again, what if I never got married? So I'm going to be dating and in relationships for the rest of my life and having men pay for my stuff? And that's how I'm going to live? Like, that doesn't make sense. If I'm taking care of myself, I'm not only showing the person or the significant other that I'm trying to marry, like, hey, I can take care of myself. I have my own. I really didn't need all this extra stuff. But hey, if you want to come in and be a part of my world, you're more than welcome to. You bring what you have over here. We come together with one. Instead of me, oh, well, I need you to pay for like my cell phone bill. I need you to pay for my rent. I need you to, like, look, if you're going to be with me, this is what you're going to do. No, it should not be that way. It should not be.
You don't think that the thought that you have, like the type of mindset that you have that your mom taught you, you don't think that that's a masculine trait at all?
It would be masculine when I was in a relationship, but as I'm married, I know how to be feminine. If that was the case, I wouldn't allow certain things in a relationship.
I'm talking about having that mindset before before you in a relationship or like during a relationship, not marriage, but during a relationship, do you think that that's a masculine trait to have?
I don't think it's masculine because I shouldn't be relying on somebody else. So to me, that's not masculine. Masculine, I'm taking care of me. So like you come in, that's great, but I am not your obligation. We're getting to know each other. You're not taking care of my life. We're getting to know each other to see if we can have a life together. Not you coming in and you take care of my life and we see if you can take care of this and then we can figure that. That's not what it's about. It's about getting to know you, who we are. We have these conversations. We go through the proper channels. We go through the proper things. And then what happens is that whole I'm taking care of me basically settles down and I become that wife because I know at the end of the day, I have to have several seats. If that's the case, I would be like, no, our funds are separate and we're doing this and we're doing that. And when you come to me with stuff, I would be like, no, I don't want to do that because I don't trust you. That's masculine. That's telling me, no, I can't, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That is the masculine part of it. I don't feel like that's masculine. I feel as though that's the mentality of survival. That's the difference. So because again, you can disappear tomorrow. Then what? Who's my aide?
So what about females that get married and they were taught to have a separate account in a marriage?
I don't agree with that.
So isn't that's the same thing? That's a masculine trait because a man is supposed to provide. You're supposed to go to your partner for everything. And if you're having a problem, you should be able to speak with your man. You should be able to have confidence in your man to help you out.
Correction.
So if you having those thoughts, that is a masculine trait in my opinion.
Correction. My husband is taking care of me. We are forgetting this aspect of marriage. We want to throw marriage away and we want to put in this boyfriend-girlfriend thing as it's the same thing. You don't get the same rights as a boyfriend-girlfriend. When you're married to somebody, you have the rights. So that means that you can take care of that person. When you are boyfriend and girlfriend, nobody gives a damn if you're in the hospital about to die. That person is irrelevant. Your mom, your kin, your this, your that, it comes first. Okay?
Okay.
They don't. So let's stop jumping and saying, well, my man in that position can leave when he feels like it. My husband has obligations. So that means he has a family to keep. He has a house to keep. He has things he has to keep. So he does have to keep me right. And if I die tomorrow, he has the right to pull the plug or not. Let's not take that out. The idea of my husband has the right, not my man. And that is where we get it messed up. Ooh. We want to skip husband, but we want the whole perks of marriage, but we don't want to get married.
So what perks of marriage, like what is different from a marriage versus a relationship, like a deep connecting relationship? Because can I put our business out there for a second?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is probably going to air
months later.
Yeah, probably like June.
Oh, that's we'll be like somewhere else.
These been recorded, right? So we pre-record these. Anybody want to know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's fine.
So we are married now.
Yeah, we are.
We are married. You
married.
are officially.
I'm Mrs. Mitchell.
Mrs. Mitchell.
Only 2 people in the world know this. Peaches does know.
Yeah, it took $28.
Right. That's what you're saying, my dad. Like that's the crazy. He's like $28.
My
dad was like, "Yep, cheaper to keep her."
Oh my God. Yes, right. I'm never gonna leave. It took $28 to get a marriage certificate in South Jersey.
In South Jersey.
That is
insane.
Wild, right?
You would think the billions of dollars people pay.
So my point is that day, when it comes to day-to-day tasks, it did not change anything.
Right.
I felt it's not like soon as we signed those papers that my connection with you
just like went away or something,
or my love for you got any stronger or any less.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we talked about this. This is what we wanted. You know, this is the legacy that we building. So waiting for marriage is just like, okay, it's not like, okay, as soon as you marry, now it opens up the floodgates and you can do or say or everything will change once you get married because contrary to popular belief, it does not.
Right. Married people have said that.
You have to maintain it. You have to maintain it. And we're only like 3 days in.
And the difference, I want to rebuttal off of that. The difference is we went through the engagement phase.
We went through the engagement phase. We was engaged for like a year.
Was it a year?
A year and some change. We was engaged for a while. I proposed to you last February.
Champ is 2.
I proposed to you February 14th.
So yeah.
2023.
23. Yep.
So it's about to
22.
be. It's
about
almost
to
a
be-
year.
yeah, it's about to be a
almost
year.
a year. So we had. It's basically a year because February is next month.
Right.
It's like next week.
It's literally next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically a year that
Right.
we've been engaged, which I think is the perfect time.
Yes.
You should be engaged for a while. But
I
my
agree.
point is that nothing changed once we signed that $28 piece of paper.
So you're trying to say that marriage is not that serious?
No.
So-
No.
Or,
So
okay. Yeah.
so marriage is very serious because it is one, you making an honest woman out of the person that has your babies.
Right.
For me, what did I tell you the best gift that you can give me?
Your child. What's your name? Your last name?
And I feel like the best gift that I can give you is security. And me saying that I want to marry you and I'm going to be exclusive
Right.
to you,
Right.
all my resources, because I'm a provider and a protector, all my resources, my time, my energy is going to go first to you because you are my immediate family.
Right. But that's key because I'm your wife now. I'm not your girlfriend.
Yeah, so that's why I'm
See what I'm
saying that, like, I believe in marriage now. I
Right.
didn't believe in marriage before.
Right. When we first met, yes.
Because
100%.
I don't
You have
even
bad
want to go.
excuses.
I don't
You have
want to
bad
go into
things.
the excuses, but I
Yeah.
didn't believe into it before. But I was immature. I'm a little bit more mature now.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more older, so I get the
A lot
point.
more.
Whatever.
Not a little.
I get it. I get it.
And I think
But so let's not go on a tangent,
no,
right?
no.
So-
relationships, money.
Yeah, relationships, money, because we do that, right? So the point is, nothing changed.
What changed was your mentality.
No, it did not.
Okay, your mentality of marriage did change.
But it changed prior to getting married. When I'm
Right.
saying that nothing changed from when did we get married? What date?
We got married. Well, officially not to the 3rd, because we got to get everything signed.
Oh, we signed the papers, I think.
Yeah, we did. That was the 25th.
Yeah, so that was basically it.
The day, yeah.
Yeah,
25th.
so the 25th. So we got married on the 25th of January. So we're married
Right,
now.
right.
You know, your name changed and everything is going to be later.
Yep.
But we are officially married.
Right.
So nothing changed from the 25th to now.
No, nothing
Yeah.
should change. I think that the goals change, the focus change, because now instead of us trying to get to know each other and understand each other and all this other stuff, now we have a child, we have children we're trying to have, we have a whole goal, we have all that stuff.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I think the focus did not change because I believe that the focus was spoken of before we got married.
Right, but that wasn't the focus at that time. The focus at the time was us trying to move forward and be in a relationship, get married. We had our kid. Now it's it's expanded. So now instead of us trying to do the whole getting to know each other and all that other stuff and having a kid, now we're focused on raising our son. We're focused on, financial freedom. We're focused on, bettering ourselves, bettering our family. Like it's a whole different avenue we're down. Same mentality, just different avenue. So it doesn't mean things have changed. It's just the way that we're moving towards a different goal versus the goals we had in the beginning.
So I get your point, but my point is that we spoke of this. We
Okay.
spoke of this prior to. We
Okay.
spoke of this prior to, and it's just like, okay, instead of just talking about it, because me, I'm all about. You gotta do the work too.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You gotta execute. I'm all
Right.
about execution. So
Right.
when we talked about it, we was preparing for this moment. Then I executed, and now it's okay. So we got that was one of the plans. So that plan is scratched out now. Now we on to the next plan. You get what I'm saying? And it just levels.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's different levels to it. You just elevate yourself further once you're married. I just feel like it's another elevation, and it's different positions. Speaking of different married people, they said elevation just changes. Nothing else really does. Y'all growth between each other does. How you, like my dad said, how you deal with conflict is different versus when you were dating, when you were in boyfriend and girlfriend phase, because you should come to each other in a different way, which he was explaining, which we were saying, oh, we do that currently, but he was saying that's what has to change. You can't just get in a fight with somebody and be like, I'm out. Like, it doesn't work that way. You have to be like, all right, how are we going to fix this problem? I feel like this, you feel like that. So where are we now? And that's where that confidence revolution comes into play. And we learn that very well. And that's one thing my dad gave us. He gave us words of wisdom about, like, just keep God first, communicate wonderfully, and understand each other. Like, come to that middle and talk to each other, because there's going to be days when you can't stand each other, but there's going to be days when you be like, all right, now that we're mad.
Where you can't stand me?
No, I'm. You know what? I think the other day I just came to a conclusion that that's what it is. Like, you are who you are, so I can't. I guess that's like the wife in me, where it's like, I've been with you for so long.
Been married for 3 days.
And
the wife in me.
I've been with you for so long. Unless it's something detrimental to our family and to you, that's different. But if it's just like your little like your like little things that you do, I'm like, it's whatever. Like, literally, like, I was upstairs today, you got mad, and I heard you flip out, and I was just like, when you was in the sunroom. You was you was doing something. I was just like, it's fine.
Yeah, fucking.
And you know exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, Citizen
but
Bank.
I didn't come down like, babe, you really need to. I was like, so hey, what's going on? How was work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I fucking hate that app. I'm sorry, they didn't fix their app.
There's things that you just kind of work with. And I'm learning that, again, I had no handbook about marriage. I had no handbook about being a wife. I had no handbook about being anything. I had a handbook on living my life and surviving. So you have to shift it when you do elevate yourself to a different level. Now I have a question for you.
Oh, finally.
So
been asking all the questions.
You're gonna know where this is coming from, so I'm gonna laugh. If a man is living with a woman, should he be paying all the bills?
First of all, a man should not live with a woman. A woman should live with a man. Fucking drop mic.
But if he's paying for car notes and rent and lights but they're not married. No marriage in the future, because we're just talking good game. So should that man be taking care of her? I'm sorry. He's living in a whole different house.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Should he be paying everything? No. He should not be paying everything. And when I was making my point, I wasn't saying paying everything. I was saying the hardship. Like, if you guys are not living together and moving forward to that direction, then no. Okay. My ultimate goal, and I said this many times before, is that a woman should be I think a woman in her ultimate feminine. A woman in her ultimate feminine is a woman that can focus on nurturing.
Right.
And if you have to go to a 9 to 5, it is no way that you can fully nurture yourself, your kids, or your husband.
I agree.
So my thought process is, either we have our own business where you can work on that because it's our own business, or you a stay-at-home mom. I think that was where I was going with that. Hence, us having this podcast. This podcast is us, trying to go out there, trying to have a business for one another. Because, hey, this is not too much work. You're not physically, busting your ass at a 9 to 5. You're not cleaning anything. You're not helping people. This, that, and the third. This is a family business.
Right.
So if people watching this, please like and subscribe. We definitely need it. We definitely do. But anyway, I feel like a woman shouldn't have to do that. And that's just me. I feel just like Dame Dash said, a man shouldn't have to call another man boss, and his woman shouldn't have to call another man boss. You're not a man if you call another man boss.
Right.
And I hold that here. I hold that in my heart.
I mean, I feel as though if we're gonna be backwards,
backwards what? Like how?
Like he's living with her. I feel like that's backwards.
That is backwards. Yeah.
People can disagree with me all they want.
That is very backwards.
Man should not be living with a woman. Anyway, so
I got a story to tell after you finish too.
Okay. So I feel as though if he's eating the food, if he's peeing in your toilet, if he's taking his showers, he's doing that, he better be contributing something. And this is gonna sound harsh, what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead, shoot.
You're not man of the house.
You're not.
You are just a roommate.
You're not.
Because a man of the house takes care of the bills. He takes care of the household. He makes sure things are taken care of. You're not man of the house. And I don't feel as though you should be doing all that. Because the thing about it is, if the woman is living on her own, like I said before, she should be taking care of herself. And then when you guys come together and want to be married and do all this stuff, that's when we have this conversation about oneness.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be living here and paying your car note and still got my own bills to pay. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Wild. So.
And you work. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. I'm just not.
So, I had the lovely experience of having two fathers. I had a stepfather and my regular father, right? Just like most black boys in America, right? So my stepdad, he did not work. He lived with my mom. And my mom, she went out to work. She had a 9 to 5. Plus she had to come home. When she came home, most of the time she used to argue with my stepdad because he did not clean. He did not clean the house. She used to say, I'll go to work and I'll come home and you on that damn game. And she used to emasculate him. And to be honest, that's what happens when you live with a female. They think that they have the right to emasculate you. So that's one of the reasons why I thought like, hey, I would never live with a female. Never, unless we signing the lease together or we signing the mortgage together, or I'm not just going to live at your place. Either we're going to have it together or it's going to be mine. I'm not going to be at your place. So that's why I have this mindset. Then on the other side, I have my biological father, where he has his own place, but he just, spending money frugally, and just paying all the bills. And not only is he paying the bills, he getting the nails and stuff done. And you're not supposed to go that extreme neither. So I have seen both extremes, and I fall right in the middle. You get what I'm saying? Like, well, I can't say I fall right in the middle because I would never. I can say that now. I would never live with a female. I would never live in a female in her own place. Right. But I do get paying for certain things, but I'm not going to pay for all that because I feel like that's simp too. This is my opinion.
I feel as though, and again, I'm not a man, so I can't really speak to the man's point of view, but I feel like there's backwards thinking if you feel as though a woman needs to take care of you. Meaning you have been rehearsed this kind of, I want to say backwards / poison to think that women need to take care of you versus a man. You get out there, get a job, do what you got to do. I don't care if you bagging groceries at ShopRite. You doing something. You should not feel okay with sitting on somebody's couch and letting that person, including a woman, go out there and do whatever. Like, oh, nowadays women can do what men. Let me tell you something. The anatomy of women are made up differently.
Yes.
This is why we can difference between male and women. Okay. So we can get tired. First of all, we have children.
Yes.
That is already labor, ladies. So that is a job. It's called labor because it's a job. You don't understand that? Look it up. That's exactly what it means. 2, for you to work and to come home and to gotta clean and cook, and then you got a man who's doing nothing. After a while, that's going to be more than enough for you to leave that person. And you need to really realize...
Or he's going to leave you.
Correct.
Because he's not going to feel man enough.
Well, he may not. Because some men ride that wave until they can't ride it anymore. They will sit in a woman's household and let her do everything because, again, that's the backwards thinking that he has been taught.
I feel like a man will survive. You get what I'm saying? A man will survive and he will live with a woman. But eventually, he something in him will not like it.
I don't know
He'll deal with it, but something in him won't like it.
I know people nowadays that live off of women. So I don't think that way would ever end. I think it's a conveniency. I think it's a toxic trait, And I think it's something that has been taught to a lot of our young Black men.
So let's talk about that. So the reason why, because you had said something earlier, the reason why a lot of men feel like they can rely or just milk a woman is because they was raised by a single mom.
Correct.
And that single mom basically did everything for them. And they feel like, hey, it's cool.
Yep.
Like
my mom took care of me. My mom
took
held
care
my
of me.
hand.
My mom was a single mom, and she was able to do X, Y, and Z. So you should be able to do it too.
Yep.
Nah, don't work that way. And it's sad because, I went through the same things, and I know that mindset because I saw people with that same mindset. That is not the right mindset to have, in my humble opinion. Yeah, it's just not.
So, in my question, because you asked me a question about energy,
Go ahead.
do you think that's feminine energy?
That is, yes. That's a good point. That is, you hit the nail on the motherfucking head. When you feel like anybody should take care of you, that is a feminine trait.
I agree.
That is a feminine trait.
I agree.
Even like I even talk about myself because I like talking about myself because I am my worst critic. Because I compete with myself, right? Even me, I work for another man, basically. I feel like that's a feminine trait. I'm trying other things, and I got my hands in a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm trying to move away from that mindset or away from that. I'm still in the rat race.
Right.
But yeah, a man shouldn't ask another man for anything. A man should go out and be able to get it. That's just my say.
Like,
that's a feminine trait when you asking somebody else, no matter if it's a female, no matter if it's a 9-to-5 job. If you're working at a 9-to-5 job, you need to be thinking in your head, what can I leave my kids? That's what you need to be thinking.
I feel like men have been created to create. And I will always feel that. I don't care what religion you are. It's in the Torah, it's in the Quran, and it's in the Bible. Men have been created to create.
Yes.
If you are a man and you don't feel like you need to create, you need to check why.
Why?
Because a lot of times that is because of something traumatically that was taught to you and you're not creating in your right energy. And until you become a creator, you will never be anybody.
Facts.
It is what it is. You can say, oh, well, I'm trying to be a rapper. Okay, listen. Let me tell you something about these rappers, okay?
35.
You're 35 years old.
37.
Hang it up. It's a hobby.
40.
If you ain't bringing in money into this house that's going, I can pay a bill, it's a hobby. Hobby. Stop with this whole mentality. Oh, you don't believe. Let me tell you something. I've been around enough of them. But I'm going to tell you like this. You need a 9-to-5 after a while. And if you're not working to create to be better, then what are you doing? You're not creating your household. You're destroying it because you're not building with the bricks that were given to you. A woman is building with the bricks that she was given from you instead of you getting your hands dirty. She is. That doesn't make sense.
Like you shouldn't if you have a 9-to-5 job as a man, like you shouldn't feel no type of way about
Correct.
that.
You should
You know
not.
what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't feel guilty.
No.
But you should have something in your mind like, hey, I don't want to do this forever.
Right. What's my
you know
next
what I'm saying?
step?
Like, what's my next step? Like, okay, everybody gotta fall back, be humble, get led.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be a subordinate.
Yeah.
That's how you learn how to be
Right.
a superior.
And I'm going to talk about myself. And obviously I'm not a man, but I'm going to talk about myself. I work 2 jobs.
Yes.
I don't want to work 2 jobs.
Yes.
I feel like I can't be my full potential self. I can't be a wife. I can't be my mom. I can't be a mom to my son.
That's a fact.
I feel like he doesn't get to spend time with me like he should. I can't cook like I love to. I love to cook. Like I wanted to go to school to be a chef. I love cooking.
Yes.
And I can't do that anymore. So in my head, I had to think back, like, what do I love to do to enjoy? And that was cooking. And I can't even do it. But when I can cook, I'm so happy because I'm in the kitchen. I'm actually making things. I enjoy that. But I can't do it working 2 jobs. So I get tired. You know, sometimes I get sick. So now I got to not only work 2 jobs, I got to come home, do laundry. I got to make sure the house is clean. I make sure you got food on your plate. I got to make sure the baby's like.
That's a lot.
It's
That's a lot on your plate. Yeah.
It's a lot. And people don't understand. And people always like, oh, you should quit your second job. Yeah, I would love to do that. But I want to make sure our household is good. So I'm waiting for the lead of my husband to tell me what the next steps is.
Yeah.
And that is where that whole understanding of how to turn that off and rely on you comes from. You know, so
Well, hence why I'm trying to pay the car off.
I know.
I'm like, we need to pay this car off as fast as possible.
Jesus, I know.
Yeah, and I keep telling you, like,
crazy.
hey, we need to call this guy, let him know that we're trying to pay it the fuck off. But yeah, I get it.
But I feel as though that is a key component, because I think a lot of times, and yeah, you know, my mom has always told me, you know, my dad has told me, oh, you having, you know, you want to have kids, how you gonna be a mom? And I'm like, you're right. I'm gonna miss main things. I'm gonna miss, you know, want to go out with my family.
And that's what a lot of, I think this younger generation is not getting, is that, hey, in order to be a feminine mother,
right?
Because you can be a masculine mom all you want. You can be a single mom, but you're gonna be masculine.
You are.
You're gonna have to be.
You have no choice.
That's what a lot of females is not getting. That, hey, you have to.
Yep.
You have to rely on somebody while you're pregnant. You have to. You have to rely on a man. You have to. You have to rely on your partner.
Yep.
And if you cannot rely on your partner, then you should think twice, because it's all about. Back in the day, it was about who can go out and hunt and grab meat.
Hunt and gather.
Now it's about who can collect money to feed you.
Who's bringing the bacon?
Who bringing in the bacon? And if your man is not able to do that at that point, he may love you. He may respect you. He may be all the things that you ever will need and want or whatever. But if he's not able to provide for you and your kids, then you should think twice about, you know what I mean?
Having children. No job, no kids.
Yes.
Sorry. Because at the end of the day, raising children is a two-family household need. And people are going to kill me in the comments for that. No. Oh, well, my mother raised me. I'm going to tell you.
Like, you can raise a kid.
You can.
Like, I'm not saying that you can't. But what? Like, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be very hard. And that child.
I accept the challenge, okay.
But I'm going to tell you this. You're going to cling to that child. And when that child decides they want to spread their wings, it's going to be a challenge for you.
It's going to be a challenge.
Because you're going to feel like they owe you. And that is that mentality, that single mentality. Now, there are some moms that are very like, I want you independent. I want you out. I want you to do this. And they let go of their kids. Kudos to you.
But then that's a masculine trait.
Correct.
That's a masculine trait.
Because you got to be dad.
When you pushing your kids and stuff like that, that's a masculine trait.
Go about your business.
Like, I see us when we got Champ. I say, stop fucking picking him up. He don't need to be picked up. He's good. He don't need to be picked up. Like, he's gonna keep coming to you and mom. You like, I'm
a mom.
But it's me though. That's the masculine. The masculine energy is like, hey, we need to fucking.
Yeah.
He need to learn how to hunt now.
Yeah,
today.
drive a car today.
Today. Like, he needs to learn
he's
today.
1.5. Like,
you just like, oh well, he's crying, so
right. And to go back to that, there's gonna be a time where mom's gonna have to let go. And when he's out of that phase, I'll be fine letting go. Because it's now turned over to dad. That's going to be all spotlight on you.
The thing is, you need both energies.
I agree.
You need both because
like
me, you can't. He's a baby.
Right. He's a baby.
He don't need to learn how to chop wood right now.
Exactly.
If it was all me, if I was raising him, I'd have him outside.
He'd be cleaning the car and
he'd be outside with no hat on.
Right.
Fucking just a onesie.
He's so right.
No pants.
So right. It's fine. It's warm outside. It's
one sock
degrees.
On, one shoe on.
Right.
It's raining.
So true. It's so true.
I'm like, he'd be fine. They used to do it back in the day.
It's hot outside. I'm like,
so that's why you need that feminine energy to be like, hey, put a fucking hat on.
Right. Because I do that. I'm like,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. But babe, it's not that.
Just you know what I'm saying?
He's a baby.
So yeah.
And I agree. But when you don't have both, that's the problem. It needs a balance. Kids need a balance. Yeah. And one thing, I watched one of this podcast guy, he said, the issue with society nowadays is we don't want to raise up children. We want to give them options. Yeah. Kids cannot determine whether or not they want to eat French toast or have a cookie. Why are we giving them options?
Why? Like, I don't
You tell them, this is how you wipe your nose.
Yes.
You wipe your behind like this. This is what you don't do. You stink. Get in the shower.
Yes.
We're parents. We are no longer friends. You need to stop friending your children. Because when they get a certain age, they're going to be your best friend. Best friend. Y'all can, you can go for coffee. You can hang out, have adult conversations. That's great. But at that age where they need that parent, be a damn parent. They're not going to like you. They gonna talk all kinds of crazy nonsense about you to their friends. They gonna say, my mom, my dad don't let me do nothing. Cool. Yeah, we don't. Meanwhile, you got a big old house with, a gaming system, a theater, everything you want. You go with your friends what you want, but we don't give you nothing. Okay, cool.
They gave you life, motherfucker.
But that's the difference as a parent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you like, okay, do you feel like being disciplined today? No, I don't. Oh, okay. I'm gonna let you draw on the wall. No, I'm gonna pop you and tell you don't draw on the wall because I'm a parent. Stop